Hello, teacher. Hello, guys. Today I'm going to present you my translation progress. Uh, my translation project, which is um, a chapter from the book Rita, uma Autobiografia, and I'm going to talk more about it. All right. So welcome. And all right. So the text. When I decided to translate something from this book, I actually wanted to translate a different chapter. But as we go forward into this reading, we see that it requires a lot of previous knowledge. Even though Italy divides everything into something like a short story. For example, one chapter is going to be about her dad, another chapter is going to be about her childhood, another chapter is going to be about the school, and they are kind of independent, but they require previous knowledge, and you're going to understand why. And I decided to first translate the first chapter, which I later abandoned this project because the first chapter was too introductory to the book, and the content, I didn't like the content itself. So I decided to translate chapter 2, which is called Os Pets, and I translated for the pets, of course. And she talks about the animals, the pets that she had, um, mainly during her childhood. Okay, so her style was kind of challenging for me to translate and still keep her way of writing, you know. So since it's an biography, it is a personal narrative. It has a lot of her personal style, and we all know Hitali's style when singing, and it's not so different when it comes to writing. She's very creative. She likes to play with the words, and she's very honest sometimes. So it occurs in a conversational tone, like she's telling you a story. She's telling you the story of her life, and she's so much hyperbolic. Every time she's talking about something, she's going to add or inho. And this was something also hard for me to translate because I felt like I was using too much the word little. And I didn't want to sound repetitive during the text. And she often balances between light and serious. Sometimes she's talking about something light and then she jumps into another sentence and she talks about something very serious that happened in her life. For example, in one sentence, she's talking about how happy she was with a specific cat that she had. And in the very next sentence, she said, "Oh, one day he died." And she's very abrupt sometimes between those two tones. So her lexicon was also somehow challenging. She had some cultural sentences, some very personal sentences, informal sentences, you know. And here I brought three examples for you. She talks about she talks freely about her drug usage, and she talks about she was viajando de ácido sometimes. When she talks about her house routine, she says that rolava cirquinho todas as manhãs. And when she was talking about her cannery, she said, soltei a bichinha na selva, unquote. da represa de Guarapiranga. So another um, thing hard to adapt, those very Brazilian city town names, right? And I had some challenges and choices I had to make. Rita Lee is sometimes very prolific. She one thing that she could explain in one sentence, she uses more than one, and she uses this, as I told before, this conversational tone that she keeps going um, in rounds, around and around the sentence to explain the same thing. I think um, it's her characteristic. It's very conversational. It's, as I said, it's like she's telling you a story, the story of her life. And when I was writing this translation, I reviewed it using Grammarly, this app that shows you mainly the grammar mistakes, but also they sometimes give you suggestion on how to be more assertive, how to explain better some things. And this was one of the suggestions. For example, I translated it. It was the sergeant who, because the sentence in the first text was era o sargento que tomava conta deles. But Grammarly said I could just say the sergeant looked after them. I did not want to say that because it would differ a lot from her style. So I dismissed this suggestion. Another thing that came, and it was very, I think that for a reader without context, any context, it would be hard to understand. But she had a very particular glossary when it comes to her family. And in this sentence, for example, era um tal de esconde-esconde para o sargento não ouvir miadinhos que o harém vivia no estado permanente de tensão. So, um, and an advised reader wouldn't understand what is happening here, but it is her personal glossary. See, this is her family. There was just her father as a man, and her father was a former military man. So she used to call him sargento, and the rest was just women, and she called that a harem, um harem. So I had to keep these choices of her. I had to keep the way she called her father as a sergeant, and the way she called her house, her sisters and her mother, the collective of them, harem. All right, harem, I think. And that's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. The results are below in the description. Please check it. I think you're going to have fun reading to it. It is not a long text. It is a whole chapter, but not so long, okay? So thank you for all your attention and see you.